up 805? This is Bill Losey right here in Studio 805 for the Ventura County Star, once again in Camarillo on purpose, and also because it's more fun than a real job, at least until I get my paycheck. Then the jaw-dropping shock sets in, but fortunately it never lasts. This time, at the request of absolutely no one, I'm going to tell you why I do what I do. Like you've been dying to hear that. Good, because I'm going to tell you anyway. I used to work here a long time ago. My first musical adventure was a Peter, Paul, and Mary review. They're still alive. Rita Moran was the editor then, and she let me do a concert review. Then after a few years of part-timing it, I got laid off, and I worked for the Reporter for a long time for $10 a week, then the LA Times for 11 years. But as an 805 local, I always was uncomfortable working for anyone with LA in their name. Anyway, I've been back with the Star for 7 years this time, and I might stick with it for as long as they'll have me, because this is supposed to be fun, right? I choose my musical victims each week quite randomly and often for no apparent reason apart from the fact that the band has a funny name or I know the band from the past. The fun part is discovering a new band and turning my friends onto them. That would be you. It was quite by accident that I discovered the Dandy Warhols, the old 97s, Eliza Gilkyson, Paul Thorne, Mojo Nixon, Echo and the Bunnymen, the Bottle Rockets, Depeche Mode, Jesse Malin, and all my favorite bands this week. There's always good music out there. It's all about finding it. Sometimes we do just that, despite the truth of Sturgeon's law that 90% of everything is garbage. So that's my story, and I'm stuck with it, and now too, so are you. Okay, this week it's Coachella Week, the greatest music festival within driving distance, 4 hours and 214 miles south, 3 days of cool bands out in the uncool desert. Anyway, lots of other stuff going on, and to that end, to find a faster car, a richer girlfriend, even one with a job, here's where I'll be lurking in the back this week, tonight, Thursday night. It's a weekly Conejo Valley Reggae Fest with Urban Dread. They'll be at Bogies in Westlake Village. And also tonight in Ventura, there's more reggae with Natural Incense. They'll probably be creating natural incense out in the parking lot at Wine Lovers before the show tonight. And singer-songwriter Judy Valencerina, that's a lot of consonants, will be at Cafe Bella on C Street in Ventura also tonight. Well, up the coast, you can't go wrong with the Todd Hannigan Show. He'll be at the Stateside on State Street in Santa Barbara with Sean Hayes opening. Well, not too far away, it's Bluegrass with Peter Feldman and the Very Lonesome Boys at the Libero Theater. And finally, he doesn't sing, but he's pretty darn funny. That would be comedian Andy Borowitz. He'll be at UCSB. You can check out his tightly written and often historical blog, The Borowitz Report. And I'd go to that, but I think I'll be out drinking cheap Pepsi Ribbon beer in the parking lot of Coachella later on tonight. Okay, that's that. Now this, Rock and Roll Call, the record rating service of cyberspace designed to cost you or save you several of those hard-earned George Washingtons, depending on whether or not the band stinks. First up, new one by Leona Lewis. It's called Spirit. It's on J Records, a label that is home to lots of diva types who whine and moan and make teenage girls think that's what love is all about. Maybe it is. Don't ask me. I've learned nothing, forgotten nothing about women. I know absolutely nothing about them other than I like them a lot. And the Grateful Dead were right. Women are smarter. And as to the aforementioned Miss Lewis, wow, she can really sing, so there's that as well. Next is the latest from Beat Union. I'd like to thank the wonderful folks at MSO for sending me this one. The album's called Disconnected. It's on Science Records. They got the beat part right as they grab you right by the feet from the very beginning with the title cut, which sounds a lot like a catchy Elvis Costello meets Class song. This is an album without any meaningful flaws, my friends, and it's poppier and happier than you would be with free pizza delivered to your front door by your favorite naked movie star. Beat Union, many nods and a smirk, good stuff. And finally, it's a reissue of one of the greatest albums from those silly 60s by a band you've never heard of, Love. Yeah, that was the band, Love, a band called Love. And this album is called Forever Changes. It's their underappreciated classic. I mean, not for me. I liked them way back, and I bought this as a vinyl way back in the day. And I also saw them in Santa Barbara at one of those Jim Salser shows when overzealous fans were going to burn down the Earl Warren Showgrounds when they pulled the plug on the encore. Well, it's no big deal now. Love back then was a mixed black guy, white guy band out of LA, fronted by the talented and very weird Arthur Lee. You know, one of my strangest interviews of all time was with Arthur Lee, who passed out on the phone while we were talking. It was totally weird. I mean, I've done a lot of weird interviews, but I began this with my usual idiotic icebreaker, hey, how about those Dodgers, or something like that. Anyway, Lee says in his tired voice, hey man, do you mind if I lay down? I mean, we're on the phone, right? So I continued talking for a little bit, and I hear this as Lee passes out, leaving my phone useless for many hours. My reaction to that at the time could not be repeated on a family newscast. The next day, his management calls me to ask, so how'd it go, man? And I said, it was a drag, man, because Lee died or he OD'd or something on the phone, so not good. Anyway, he called back in a few days in full motor mouth mode, maybe more awake than needed to be, who knows. Anyway, Forever Changes was Love's third album, came out in 1967, Lee died of leukemia in 2006, but Love lives on thanks to Rhino Records. Unlike Kevin Love, who no longer lives on in Westwood. Anyway, the original 11 songs are there, plus alternate mixes of all those songs and 10 songs never before released. Very trippy, still sounds good, lots of different stuff, jazz, rock, psychedelic stuff, a totally original album, and there's even 2 versions of one of my favorites, Bummer in the Summer. Okay, that's the end of the line for me. I find myself circling the drain. Once again, Bill Losey right here in Studio 805 for the Ventura County Star saying, save the top hat, save yourselves, go check out some live music, have a delightful weekend, go Dodgers. And remember, if no one tells you how to act, then how are you going to be?
Maybe I'm just out of place in the modern world. Don't wanna go to their MySpace, I wanna talk to girls.